Hey there, thank you. Welcome to the Film Fan Club show season finale. Yeah, I'm Sam Carico. We are coming to you not live from the Gulf Coast. I don't know if you've seen it, but in the last couple episodes, you might have noticed that I've had a little bit of legal trouble. So I'm on my way to the U.S.-Mexico border at the request of my legal counsel. They said it would be best to lay low there for a couple months or years. So yeah, I figured I'd stop in Galveston on the way. I've always wanted to see what the beach would look like if it consisted entirely of toilet water. I just came here from New Orleans. That was something, my gosh. I don't know why they call it the Big Easy, but I do know that it's not because of the traffic. That shit was terrible. No, I was staying in downtown New Orleans, so I didn't really get to see any of the swamps or anything. I didn't see a single alligator while I was in New Orleans. Actually, the only predators that I saw there were on Bourbon Street. Before NOLA, I was at a music festival in Memphis. That was something. Yeah, the Beale Street Music Festival, would not recommend. Yeah, I was there to see my favorite band of all time, Death Cab for Cutie. But 20 minutes into their set, they got rained out and had to cancel. I was so disappointed, I was considering calling a death cab for this cutie, because I wanted to die. It's been a big week though, not just for me. Did you guys see the big news coming out of the Supreme Court? Yes, they released a draft majority opinion that would overturn Roe versus Wade and take away abortion rights for women in half the country. I was upset, just like a lot of people were reasonably upset. I was upset for a lot of reasons, but of course, most of which was because I was still holding out hope that we could abort Avatar 2. Yeah, the upcoming Fast and Furious sequel, Fasten Your Seatbelts, is bringing on a new director after Justin Lin left the project, supposedly over creative differences with Vin Diesel. Yeah, when Vin was asked about that, he said, "Come on, Justin, I thought we were family." Luckily, family in this instance just means easily replaceable. CinemaCon took place a couple weeks ago. Did you guys see this? Movie theater owners were treated at upcoming exclusive looks at upcoming movies, basically. Olivia Wilde was there to present the new trailer for her movie, Don't Worry, Darling. It looks really good. The trailer was steamy, too. In the trailer, you could see Harry Styles eating Florence's pew. No, but that wasn't the only drama, though. While Olivia Wilde was on stage, she was presented subpoenaed, basically. She was presented custody papers from her ex-husband, Jason Sudeikis. Now, I did a deep dive into this, and I realized that apparently there's a rumor that Olivia Wilde cheated on Sudeikis with Harry Styles while making this movie. So I gotta say, for him to serve her while she's presenting it, kind of a boss move. No, Jason Sudeikis said he didn't know that this was going to happen. He didn't know the timing of the subpoena, but I got to say, Jason, bro, it'd be a lot cooler if you did. Honestly. No, but the last sad bit of news is the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial has been going on it's like for a couple weeks now. Amber Heard took the stage this week. It's been really sad. A lot of news has come out between the both of them. Apparently, they are both alleging violence from the other one toward them. It's very sad. Apparently, it's come out that Amber Heard defecated in Johnny Depp's bed. Yeah, I'm not going to share my opinion because I see people making fun of this. That's just shitty. Okay, we've got a great show for you guys lined up. We're going to talk about Doctor Strange. Let's get right to it. Okay, we're here in Austin, Texas, and joining me via Zoom, he is an FBI agent based in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Eduardo Saucedo is here. Hey, Eddie.
Just to get this straight, we are here to speak about your arraignment, right?
Yeah, no, sure, yeah, we're going to get to the arraignment later. I'm totally going to turn myself in, I promise. But before that, I figured this would be a great time to talk about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The new movie came out. Did you see Doctor Strange?
As a matter of fact, I did. Yeah.
See? Eddie, let's do non-spoilers first, and then we'll get into spoilers, as we like to do here on this show. I have a lot of thoughts, so let's get we haven't really talked about our initial reaction yet. What did you think? Big movie. What did you think of Multiverse of Madness?
It was big. It was, it jumped around in a way that was interesting, like as far as the crossing through dimensions and all that. It reminded me a little bit of like Interstellar or Inception in certain ways. Overall, I enjoyed it.
Okay, this is where we'll disagree, because I did not like this film. I love it so bad. I love Everything Everywhere All at Once. Multiverse movie came out in April. It was so good. It's about,
it's about like similar, not to give away spoilers just yet, but it's kind of about connecting with other versions of yourself and realizing the lives you could have had and why you should cherish the life you do have.
Yeah.
Vaguely, that's what Everything Everywhere Else is all about, and that's what this movie kind of is about in ways. It just fumbled, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Fumbled so much of its message. It's so big. It's so messy. The joke I made on Twitter was, "This is a true Sam Raimi movie." Unfortunately, it's just a bad one. You know, it's got all the Sam Raimi isms. The camera work is there. I think Danny Elfman did the score. Danny Elfman's score was amazing. The camera work was great. The horror elements of this, you know, like lots of cool scenes and images where I'm like, wow, they pushed the envelope with the PG-13 rating, which I very much enjoyed. But unfortunately, it's all in service to a story that is just messy. In my opinion, and all film is subjective, we all have different opinions. In my opinion, it was messy, overstuffed, and they weren't able to get that charm that, in my opinion, something like Spider-Man No Way Home had, where you care about these characters in addition to the big stuff that's going on. Does that make sense?
Right. But I will say, I really enjoyed the emotional aspect of the film. It kind of gets you in the gut here and there, but overall, like you said, I get why. At first, I did not think it was like all that it could have been, but then after reflecting, I did enjoy certain aspects of it, like the cameos. I'm not gonna say anyone who did, but and then except the horror aspect again. I know it's to Sam Raimi's previous work, which is pretty cool. You know, little cool things here and there that I'm sure I'll appreciate when I watch it back again. But I get you. Overall, yeah, it could have been better. I guess the multiverse aspect of it, I feel like at this point, I feel like I've been seeing it around with the Spider-Man thing and also some of the animated stuff here and there. I feel like to this point, if you're not doing it better than what it's already been done, like it's hard to appreciate the multiverse thing for what it is being presented as, you know?
What I just realized while talking to you just now, the script was written by the guy who did Loki, and I did not like Loki at all. So a lot of the same problems carry over into this, which is not good.
You know, about Loki, I felt like it was building up, but then that's one show that I felt like didn't really climax in a way I appreciated too much. Like, and I feel like it's similar to Doctor Strange, the second one, this one. Like the buildup was great, but then I felt like, you know, it could have the ending could have been something a little bit more like Loki.
But overall, before we get into spoilers, because I'm chomping at the bit to get into spoilers now. So
sure, yeah.
It seems like you would recommend the film.
I would recommend it. I don't think you would have to see it right away per se. It's not like a groundbreaking, like a Black Panther or a Avengers Endgame type deal. But it's still it's worth a watch.
Yeah, I would say definitely at Disney Plus. Yeah, if you got Disney Plus, you can probably wait for Disney Plus to watch it, which is unfortunate because I did see it open. I saw Friday, and and a lot of people are expecting it to be like that thing. You got to see it. It's that popular culture cornerstone, like the Spider-Man No Way Home was. You got to see it opening weekend. It's gonna be what everybody's talking about. I don't see that quite being the case here. I don't know. I would not recommend you see it in theaters, but see it on streaming. Sure, why not? So let's get into the spoilers, though. This is where we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the details. America Chavez. First off, meet her, middle of an action scene, alternate universe Doctor Strange. We kind of get the plot, like, real fast there. Like, she's important. She can't control her powers. They want her. We don't know who wants her yet. But, like, overall, just what did you think of this opening? The introduction to America Chavez, alternate Strange, and then the opening action scene.
I know nothing about this character really, so I was kind of confused. I was like, what's going on here? Who's this? She's speaking Spanish, Doctor Strange speaking Spanish out of nowhere. I feel like they kind of used her as a way to maybe humanize Doctor Strange a little bit more, like putting a kid under his care. Like, you see them doing that with Logan or with the Terminator. You got to bring in a little girl to help, humanize the protagonist a little more, the hardened protagonist.
Yeah, the problems with the exposition dumps for me begin in that first scene, because this first scene starts, and we don't, like you said, we don't know who these characters are. This is an alternate version of Strange. I've just been introduced to this one girl in the middle of an action scene, so I don't know quite why I'm supposed to care about these people. And then, like, within 3 minutes of meeting them, you realize you're supposed to care actually a lot. So it's just one of those things where we haven't really built up the the history, you know, that you really need to have to understand these stakes. It's just them starting moving and telling you, okay, you need to care right now. And like, you haven't quite earned it yet. So whenever you're starting in the middle of an action scene, it could, I don't know, it can sometimes work and it sometimes doesn't. So I don't know, I felt like this unfortunately didn't work.
Yeah. It's like I feel like they were trying to go for something similar to like Days of Future Past, X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
Where I don't know if it was the exact first scene, where they're being chased by the Sentinels. Is that the first scene?
Oh, yeah. But the problem with that is that we have known those X-Men characters.
Oh, yeah.
For so long, you know. So I'm like, shit, I don't want to see Storm die. That sucks.
Yeah.
Then we get introduced to alternate universe Strange in the first scene, and he dies. I'm like, okay, well, he'll be. We got 6 more of them coming. That's okay.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah, you're right.
But again, yeah, big actions. Oh, and also it looked very much like Spy Kids 3D Game Over. I don't know if you noticed that, but I like. There's not a single time I think where the actors are outside on a set in this movie. So much of this film is green screen with perfect hair lighting, you know, 3-point lighting. They're not in the actual like environment. It feels like Spy Kids 3D Game Over, which is unfortunate. It feels cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, we had the big action scene. Okay, did you like the action scene with Octopus Demon? Did it go on too long? What did you make of the big introduction to Our Strange, America Chavez arriving in this universe? Actually, we get a lot of stuff in this introduction. We realize that Christina's moved on. They're not going to get, you know, she's getting married to somebody else. Doctor Strange has got to move on. Octopus Monster appears. America Chavez appears. He kind of gets the state of the world, you know, and then we have this big action scene. Then he sets out to find Scarlet Witch. So, yeah, second big action scene within the first, like, 10, 15 minutes.
I did like, it reminded me a little bit of Spider-Man, the way that he just jumped into action. I felt like it was kind of Sam Raimi's way of, like, you know, his way of superhero movies. I liked that when he jumped down, you know, got his cape on, his whole wardrobe.
I agree. I do love anytime you could see, like, I do love that it's a trope, but it is a trope, a fun trope of, like, you know, you see the hero in their day-to-day life, you know, there's trouble over there, and everybody's yeah, exactly. Their own version of that Superman moment where they rip off the thing. So I did enjoy that. So, yeah, let's talk about Wanda. We get an introduction to her. Strange goes and visits her. It's what we saw in the trailer. Very sweet. This is where it took a turn for me. I did not see this coming. I am a dumbass. He goes to her, asks for her help, and she says, well, why don't you bring America to me? And then he like, looks, and I'm like, wait. I had the same reaction in the theater. I was like, wait, did he tell her? And she's like, crap, you didn't tell me her name, did you? And then she says, casting the spell was the easy part, but lying is the hard part, and changes. And you realize that what you saw in the trailer was a lie. She's not off living her best life. She's gone full evil. I did not expect this dark turn. Holy shit. I mean, I understand that we did a whole episode on WandaVision, how she dealt with her grief, how she faltered a little bit, and how she ultimately came out the other end a better what we thought she came out the other end a better person. They shit all over that. They shit all over that character development in WandaVision. She's a fully evil person now. He obviously, Strange won't give America to her, so she goes to the fortress and she, like, kills half of the Sanctum. She kills half of the Sanctum. Where did you see this coming?
Okay, I didn't think that she would necessarily, like, I thought it'd be more of a slow progression of her, you know, going, you know, evil per se. But yeah, I kind of figured that at some point she would be, if not the main character, at least, or not the main antagonist, like, you know, one of the forces that he would have to butt heads with at some point. Because here's the thing, yeah, she's gone through a traumatic experience, like, you know, with the whole, you know, she lost the love of her life, and then she thought she had kids, or she created kids. But to go to that extreme, I know that in the comic books or in the other lore that she had a dark side to her. I just didn't know to what extent per se. And to see it like this happen, yeah, I didn't see it coming. Not like this.
And did you like it?
Did I like it? Oh.
Because there's a lot of Wanda stands out there that are going to be very pissed. I really think so. A lot of Wanda stands, like I saw YouTube video essays, people saying, Wanda did nothing wrong. A video essay, you know, some shit like
Oh
somebody's
God.
justifying all her. Watch that person go see this movie, you know, like. So did you like?
No, what she? I like Wanda as a character still. She was never one of my favorites, but I do like that they showed her more of a dark side. I just didn't expect it to be this dark in this instance, because just to get her kids back, or to be in a timeline where she had her kids and they were real. But overall, yeah, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy her characterization. Yeah.
So if I were a fan of her character, I would not like it because I don't think this jives with what WandaVision set up. I think I'll have to rewatch the last few episodes of WandaVision, but I really feel like she came out the other side of that a better person, a person who grew and did not hurt people again. So for her to not only hurt people again, but to kill the good guys in this movie, I don't think they earned it a little bit. So it just seems like, yeah, we start this movie and she is the bad guy. And she is that what happens? She almost gets America at the fortress, and then America freaks out, and then her and Strange get transported to a bunch of different dimensions.
Painting one?
Yeah, you see the painting one for a second, and then
they're
like, you don't have to pay for money in this universe. It's weird that you do in yours. Like basically saying, okay, society sucks. We get it. You're a good person. Okay. And then I'm trying to think. This is where we meet Mordu, I believe. Mordu, who is the Sorcerer Supreme in this universe. He turned evil at the end of the first movie, so this is an alternate version. And then we get introduced to the Illuminati, I believe, right? So yeah, let's kind of just skip ahead. So after they go through the multiverse, shit happens, and then we get the Illuminati. That was the big thing, the big reveal we were all looking forward to, and they made some choices. They're like, let's give you Reed Richards, played by John Krasinski. Everybody wanted it. Let's give you Reed Richards, kill him. Let's give you Xavier. Everybody wanted Xavier from X-Men. It's Patrick Stewart. He's back. Let's kill him. So what did you think of the Illuminati part of the storyline? The very brief part of it that we got.
I think it was. I feel like some of those characters were chosen just for shock value per se. It would have been interesting if it was certain characters that we were already somewhat familiar with, at least most of them, but like as far as in that MCU universe, you know. But overall, like, it makes sense that there would have to be some sort of high council to be in charge of is it the multiverses or just that timeline? That's what I'm confused about.
I didn't understand that either. I didn't know I think maybe the multiverse, but I honestly have no idea. Are they just like, and again, I understand the Illuminati is a Marvel thing, but like, Baron Mordo said, he said the Illuminati will see you now, and the lady next to me laughed, you know, and that's not really like what you want as a reaction to your movie, you know, like people laughing at the name of your bad guys.
Because in the real life, everyone talks about the Illuminati as being an actual thing, or at least a rumored thing that's in our universe, as you know, where we live in society, you know, as a behind the doors society, right? That was a bit cheeky, I guess, to call it the Illuminati.
I thought so. I mean, especially it's like a secret high council that controls everything. It's like saying, Doctor Strange, the deep state will see you now. And it's like, okay, come on. Can you call it anything else? Like, fuck.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I will say I was happy to see John Krasinski. I was happy to see what's his name? Captain Carter. Because we haven't seen her on film as Captain Carter like that, you know, so that was cool.
This made me understand that What If was completely necessary. They needed to do What If. I needed to watch it, even though it wasn't my favorite thing in the world, because this was laying the groundwork for like, wait, there's a Captain Carter? How did she come to be, you know? Just for her to get killed. Just for her to get killed. That was, in some of the most brutal ways. Black Bolt's death was my favorite. It was
man.
So good.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun, but also like, I wanted to see more of them. But hey, it is what it is.
Do you have a favorite death?
Man, I guess Patrick Stewart's or Charles.
How did she kill him again?
He went inside her mind, Wanda's mind, to try to
she snapped his neck.
Yes, or snapped his mind, I think.
Well,
No.
yeah, she went into his mind and
Uh,
snapped his neck, and then you saw his body like
right, right.
fall down. It was wild though. I was like, my
Yeah.
God, holy shit!
He just gets the worst deaths, First Logan nowadays.
I know. I mean, how many times do we have to watch Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier die? X-Men: Last Stand, Logan,
Yes.
this one. Holy shit! The guy cannot get a break.
Come on. James McAvoy, did he have to go through any of that? I don't
Yeah,
think so.
James McAvoy he's like, I don't know what the big problem is. I got to just retire.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart's like, I had to die 3 times. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention Alternate Christine. Alternate Christine is the only reason that I guess Strange and America were the only 2 that didn't die at the hand of Wanda, like the entire Illuminati did. So she helps them find Doctor Strange's special book, which there's so many special books in this, it's kind of hard to keep up with. We're just having a hard time figuring out the timeline of all this shit. It's so fucking confusing. Find Doctor Strange's special book. That is where Wanda, at the last minute, catches them. And then she takes over America's mind, sends Christine and Strange to Evil Strange Dimension, and then goes with America back to her fortress, setting up the finale, basically. So lots of stuff. Alternate Christine, and then we have Evil Strange show off, basically. Lots of things. Any thoughts on that?
Right. Yeah, so I remember. Okay, so what happens, if I remember correctly, was weren't they in one of the weird, colorful, spacey time places where she gets caught?
That's where his special book is. Is that what you're referring to?
I think so. She gets caught, and then they jump through. Is it by accident that they jump through and land in the Evil Strange's?
No, my understanding is Wanda
New York City
gets to America and then makes America send them somewhere, and then.
Okay.
And then they get sent and meet up with Alternate Strange. It seems like Alternate Strange might help them for a second, but then his third eye opens, and then we get the best fight in this movie. You and I think we both agree that all my problems with the bigger fights at the beginning, where it's just large CGI, just shit happening, I don't.
Squid and octopus.
Right, yeah. This one, it was smaller. There's still a lot of CGI due to the nature of the magical characters, but still, they're able to they're using their wits, and they're trying to outsmart the other one, and it's inventive the way they use the musical notes on the piece of paper to fight each other using the movie's soundtrack, which is kind of a really.
That's pretty cool.
It was a really inventive concept, so I liked that, and it seems like you did too.
Yeah. Oh, that was probably where I was the most in tune, or I was the most intrigued. I remember you can notice yourself sometimes when you're and that was that moment for me in the film. As far as
it's not like the Professor X reveal, it's not like the Reed Richards where it's of course that's going to get your eyes glued to the screen. It's like the movie being a good movie, which is the best reason to get enthralled with it. The reason that I like the 3 Spider-Mans is not, of course, I like seeing the 3 Spider-Mans show up, but then seeing their chemistry together and seeing the writers do such a good job showing that interaction, that's what makes it worthwhile. And I think that just perfectly exemplifies what a lot of this movie lacks, except for in this scene. This one scene, it felt like a really Sam Raimi type of show-off kind of fest. It was really good. I enjoyed that for what it was. And then I think that leads us to the third eye. I don't know what the third eye was. Was that strange? But then, and then our Strange is about to use the Darkhold. Or does he use the Darkhold? I can't remember.
He does.
He does?
Yeah, he does. Remember?
Oh, yes, he does. And then
that's why
the movie becomes it's the most unintentional comedy. He gets into the corpse of the zombie from the first movie, and
Zombie Strange.
And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? So
that was cool though. I did, because it was just hey man, this is a movie, and we're gonna tell you why being ridiculous, and hey, by the way, I'm the guy who did Evil Dead. In case you didn't know, here's what I can do with zombies.
Yeah.
He took liberty with it a little bit. Right.
Yeah.
Took some liberties, but I thought it was funny. You're right. It was comedic, but I enjoyed it.
Oh, it's a fun
seeing
concept.
Him fight the little demons or whatever.
That was cool. That was cool. I do like the little black, like they look like Death Eaters, kind of, like the little
Right. Yeah.
demons that he had to fight. That was kind of cool. And then he used them. He like embraced the evil and used them to like fly up and attack Wanda. I thought that was cool too. But then for half the scene, he's just laying there like as a zombie, just like half destroyed, and he's like trying to have an emotional scene with America, like you can do it, you've always been doing, and he's got like half of his face missing. It's so funny. And Benedict Cumberbatch is trying his hardest to like actually act, in the scene with his face, show emotion and stuff. But he's wearing all these prosthetics. You just can't tell what the fuck he's trying to say. It's so funny.
If anyone could do it, though, I mean, he played Frankenstein's monster and Frankenstein in that same play, I think.
Okay, let's talk about the big finale, big climax, final action scene. Wanda's giving it her all. I can't remember any of the specifics. I think it's just a bunch of CGI shit until she dies. And then America's able to rediscover her power. She was in charge of it the whole time. Kind of a generic,
Believe in yourself.
Yeah, you just got to believe in yourself. You could do it all along. Whatever. And this is how I did like this. I love the way they defeat Wanda is just showing her what she's doing.
Exactly.
So I thought that was a really poignant ending with the kids.
Yeah. That got to me a little bit, but I expected it would have to be something like that. But when they actually presented it as just that's all she needed. It was like, oh, well, it still got to me here in the heart, in the gut or whatever. But I was kind of hoping there'd be something more elaborate,
Yeah, it would be cool if it was like they could outsmart Wanda kind of thing. She's just so powerful. Like there's no going 1v1 with her and taking her out that way. So I did like, you're not going to intellectually outsmart her. What I think is when you have a character that's overpowered, there's two ways you have to outsmart them, intellectually or emotionally. Intellectually would have been cool. I did like that they went with the emotional kind of thing, showing her the fact that she was even willing to kill her other version of herself for a second there, it seemed like.
Gosh.
I was like, and then for her to be like, get away from our mom, her kids to be like, get away from our mom, you monster. Not Scarlet Witch, the actress who played Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth Olsen. I don't think she's the strongest actor, but in that scene where she's with her kids, that was her best scene, I think, as an actor in this film, for sure.
I agree. Yeah. I just imagine, if I were to have kids one day, like for them to see me as a monster like that would break my heart. Like if I were to catch myself, like, oh, what am I doing? Like, man. Like that was what got to me. Like she realizes, dang it, maybe I messed up here. It took that, not killing all these other, dozens of people. It was that, and she did need to see that. She did.
They did the thing that they finally like. I was kind of towards the end of this. I was like, okay, well, how are they going to solve this Wanda situation? She can never be in the Avengers again. Like she can never be a good guy ever again. Are they going to redeem her? And they do a little bit of, but either they have to kill her or kind of like Kylo Ren. They do the Kylo Ren basically. Yeah. They do redeem her, but it's a self-sacrifice. She has to die because she has done such bad things. So like a little bit of both. You gotta have your cake and eat it too. Did you think they should have just killed her? Did you buy her redemption? Did you think they handled it well?
If anytime an Avenger dies, I always feel like it should be on a bigger scale type of deal, like as far as where more of the gang is involved, more of the crew's involved.
I was about to say she collapsed an entire building.
It's a big scale. Yeah. But like I do believe that it's going to end eventually with her trying to redeem herself, and then she's going to, through death, redeem herself maybe. I just don't know what else now. Like she is OP, so there's only so much you can do with some of those characters before they start to lose like their what do you call it? The interest. Like how much more can you stretch a certain character?
Well, yeah, because
you have to dig into those emotions.
They definitely made it to the point where Scarlet Witch can now do anything, and when a character does anything, I lose my investment because I know the writer can just make anything happen, So I'm like, all right, now like whenever she takes away Black Bolt's mouth, it made for a cool death scene, but that one little thing, I'm like, oh, she can literally just do whatever she wants. If she wants to look at Doctor Strange and remove his heart, the writers could say that she's allowed to do that, and I just have to go, okay. So that makes it less interesting. So she could win the battle depending on what the writers want to do. And that just feels like, okay, we're no longer creating a world. I'm just watching people with toys say, and then this happened. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing with Doctor Strange also. I also, from watching this, I got the feeling that he could almost do anything at any time also.
That's
You know,
also
so
true.
I'm wondering like who's actually like has more ability or powers here? Like, I don't know, you know. But the way that they capitalize Doctor Strange very well is just his wit, you know, the way that he's very disciplined in his demeanor and the way he goes about things, and that's the interesting part about him as a character. I would still love to see more and more of Doctor Strange, as opposed to like Scarlet Witch. I'm like, I don't know, where do you go from here?
You definitely run her arc to its end.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very, very curious to see what the reaction to her storyline in this movie is.
Yeah.
Will they think it's a Daenerys? Will a lot of people are like already yes queening her. You know, like me sitting down watching Wanda kill everybody and going, you know, like, yay girl, you know, like I'm like, hang on. I get being like feminist, like she's killing everybody.
Well, so sorry to cut you off, but I was gonna say, I don't even know if it's like they try to make it seem like, you know, obviously one would do anything for your kids or their family or whatever, right? But not to the point of they're like, no, you cannot sacrifice everyone else for just your selfish, you know, children who, by the way, never really existed in your timeline or universe to begin with.
Yeah, they're a figment of her imagination, or depending on the writer, I don't understand how it works. Maybe she can conjure life from nothing. Is she Jesus? Is she Jesus now? I don't understand. What a mess of a movie.
Why doesn't she just go have kids? For real though, why don't you just go get a boyfriend or whoever? And, you know? Did she ever try dating again first before killing everyone? Across the different
shit ever.
universe?
The actual solution to Wanda's storyline, I don't know. Maybe download Tinder. You know, like see, get plenty of fish. There's options.
Can you actually have kids, real kids, in this universe? You haven't had any real ones? I mean, I don't know.
Good point. Yeah, maybe that's established in something. No, because they already did that with Black Widow. So I don't know.
Right.
This movie's such a mess, but I had a good time watching it. It was like one of those things where I laughed a lot. Again, not the real. I would not dare laugh at Spider-Man: No Way Home unintentionally, like unless it's funny. There was nothing in that movie. Like there's serious scenes in this movie that I'm laughing at, and it just feels like it was not Marvel firing on all cylinders. Unfortunately, so I was I can't say I can't say I was disappointed. I can't say that I didn't have fun. So I had fun. I wasn't disappointed. I had a good time. I was laughing, you know. But it's not for the reasons they want. So for that, I don't think I can say this is a good thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. After discussing it, you know, I do still feel like it's worth to watch, but don't rush into it. You don't have to rush to see it.
It's not the biggest.
It's got flaws.
Yeah. It's not the biggest
movie
of the year like people maybe thought it was, which is unfortunate. The best movie, the best superhero of the movie of the year might still be the Batman. You know, by the time we get
100%. I'm on board. I'm on board for that. Yeah.
Eduardo Saucedo, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you for making the time.
Of course. Now, back to business. Now, we were going to discuss your raiment now, right?
Oh, yeah.
And finally, if Doctor Strange was the first movie that you saw in theaters since The Batman came out, you don't get to complain about a lack of originality in Hollywood. It's projected that Doctor Strange could make up to $200 million opening weekend, and that's a far cry from the $260 million that Spider-Man brought in, but that's still at least $145 million more than the best movies, 3 of the best movies I saw in April, combined. Yeah, The Northman is a great film from director Robert Eggers about a Viking who seeks to reclaim his throne from his vengeful uncle. It was a great film. It's as beautiful as it is brutal, and it achieved the impossible. This movie actually made a character named Olga seem hot. Unfortunately, it only brought in $12.5 million at the box office. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is an action comedy starring Nicolas Cage as Nicolas Cage. And while it's just okay, not really better than the sum of its parts, unfortunately, I did have some fun watching this movie, and Cage seemed to have just as fun making it. it brought in only $7 million opening weekend. But the best movie I saw in April, outside of Everything Everywhere All at Once that is, was called Duel. Karen Gillan gives a career best performance as this terminally ill woman who chooses to be replaced by a clone after her death. And whenever her, let's say her illness goes into remission, they have to settle it by fighting to the death to decide who will live on. It's definitely not for everybody, but I loved this movie. I've never seen something so funny, yet so creepy at the same time. Gillan is able to brilliantly portray the subtle differences between these two identical characters in a way that you're never confused. It's a travesty, an absolute crime that this movie only made $118,000 at the box office. And what's even worse, it's already been pulled from most theaters. So I'm not saying Doctor Strange isn't good. I'm not saying it shouldn't even make $200 million. I'm kind of saying that. What I am saying is that we as film fans, we lose out on opportunities to be amazed in theaters by original films when we refuse to see them and we restrict ourselves to franchises. And when we do, less and less original films get made. So while you're waiting for Thor: Love and Thunder to come out, consider seeing The Black Phone starring Ethan Hawke, or Men from A24, or Baz Luhrmann's new Elvis movie. I know I'll be there opening weekend, because opening weekend may be my only opportunity. Okay, that's our show, guys. This is our last episode, like I said, because I'm heading to Mexico. I will see you guys. Wait, got a phone call? Okay. Yeah. Oh, they want to do house arrest? Oh, I can do house arrest. I work from home anyways. Awesome, cool. I'll see you guys next week.